Hello, good morning. April was such a busy month. There was so much going on. Not only was I trying to do the Poet Readathon and got to be a part of several different live streams, it was amazing. I had a good time with National Poetry Month. And at the same time, Josh was starting his new job and I drove down with him. His job started fairly close to where my parents live, and so because my parents and my grandma have all been fully vaccinated, I got to finally see them after, actually it's been more than a year. It was like the Christmas before the pandemic, I think was the last time I'd seen them. So it was really good to see everybody and have a nice socially distanced gathering outside, even though Colorado decided that April was a good time for snow, as Colorado often does. But it was really lovely. It was good to see them. It was a lot of driving. And then my friends were getting married, and it was a little bit more driving up there, but beautiful, beautiful. They got married on Orcas Island, which is one of the just gorgeous, gorgeous islands up here in the Pacific Northwest. So that was a good time. But all of that was like a lot of excitement and not a lot of just like sit down reading, writing time. But now I have the summer to myself, like completely to myself. Oh, the other exciting thing is I got my first round of vaccine. I got the Pfizer vaccine. It was very nerve-wracking going in. I don't know why, I'm just the type of person who like gets nervous. I just get nervous about things. I just got anxiety. So I went in, it was so streamlined, it was so efficient, so like helpful, lovely. It was perfect. It was so fast. They gave me the injection. I had to sit for my 15 minutes. I got to go. I got scheduled for my next one. At the time, it didn't even hurt. That night, it did hurt real bad. I like woke up and like my eyes watered and my hand went numb and I had to like really massage it and move around. But that was probably my fault because instead of doing something active, I watched a movie that night. Don't watch a movie, go do some push-ups. But the next day I like mostly ate liquid things. Like we had some pho, we had some hot pot. I was just drinking liquids all the time and I moved around a lot more. And by the end of that day it was barely any more than like the normal soreness you get after the flu. Day after that, nothing. So the first shot wasn't too bad. The second shot is the one where some people had some issues, but I guess not with Pfizer, so I'm banking on that. For now, we're starting something a little ambitious because like I said, I have the whole summer to myself. Josh is working a summer job, so I've got work, but I did scale back my hours this year. I'm only working 30 hours a week so that I have more mental health time to myself. It's all working out really nicely so far, but because of that, I had to sort of reevaluate what my priorities are and what I actually want to get done. And I want to write, I want to be a writer, I want to be making money off of my writing. And I've been sort of letting that all fall to the side, like in favor of work or in favor of other things. It's actually as the Courtney project kind of inspired me because she's making way more money than I think is even like in my dreams. When she started mentioning how much money they actually make on their books, I was like, that's insane. Like, I would consider myself a success at like a fraction of the amount she's talking about. Like, it's an insane amount of money. She's like, oh yeah, I quit my corporate job because I was making all this, and I was like, I would probably quit making a lot less than that. Like, my like day-to-day budget is not a lot of money. I was very impressed. So I was like, okay, well, what do I need to do to sort of pare down and structure and make myself the sort of life that could then someday be the kind of life where I just get to be a writer. Like, I need to stop thinking about it as a dream and writing occasionally and take this time that is already set up for this, that's already going to be lots of alone time, it's already going to be fairly quiet. Other than the cats, nobody's going to be distracting me on my days off. What do I need to actually do? So I came up with kind of an ambitious writing schedule for the summer for me, because I am still working and my job is emotionally and physically draining. So some of the times, I mean, my mental health goes up and down, but I tend to be a little bit better at the beginning of the summer, which is why I want to get a jump on this now while everything is becoming beautiful and I'm growing my garden and everything is nice, because by the end of the summer sometimes I can have a bit of a spiral and I want to try to be on top of all this long before then. Ambitious writing schedule. Let me show you. My handwriting is absolutely terrible, and so don't expect this to look nice, but I made up a calendar of kind of what I want the writing days to be like. This I'm filming this at the very last week of April, which is kind of my Kickstarter days. I have it on the schedule, but I'll just skip to May so you can see my May schedule. I'm gonna start it up now. I have 2 weekdays off, and I always have Sundays off, and I work usually half days on Saturdays, although we're rotating, so I'm going to occasionally have Saturdays completely off, which then will just be more time for me. So the idea here is, on days when I'm working, I need to finish at least 1 chapter. On days that I'm not working, I'm going to try to go for 3 chapters, so that by the end of May, I have the entire finished, ready to query manuscript for my study abroad novel all done, like to the point where I feel comfortable just sending that out. Like I had pretty much gotten there, and then I started thinking about revisions, and now I'm going back to square one, full revisions from the start. I'm gonna work through them at the end of this month. I will be querying. Let me just get you over to my calendar really quick. Also, how cute is this? A friend sent me this at the beginning of quarantine. That she made this for me. It's so nice. Okay, so April, we're starting in May. Now, let me just hang this up so I can actually... Every Saturday is going to be a health day, which could mean going for a walk. It could mean getting a workout. It could mean lying on the couch and relaxing if I need to. But I'm also going to try and do some YouTube things on Saturdays. So that could be editing a video from earlier, or it could be filming. I have half days on Saturdays at work, so they'll be coming home from work. It'll still be sunny and beautiful. I can really do a bit of me time, me pampering, any kind of health things I need to do. It's probably going to involve a little bit of cooking and food prep for the rest of the week, and of course working on YouTube. Sundays I'm also giving to YouTube, but I also want to try and get 2 chapters done every Sunday. Mondays I'm leaving fully open. Mondays are going to be a free day every single week because I have Mondays off. It's the last day of my weekend, so completely free day for me. If I need to catch up, actually these 2 days are switched because I switched with a coworker, so I'm actually working this day. But either way, completely free days. If I need to catch up on writing because I missed a day for whatever reason, I can do that on that day. If I need to lie on the couch and binge watch a show, I can do that day. Mondays are fully free. I'm trying to make this something that I can actually achieve. Okay, then Tuesdays at work, I'm gonna try and get a chapter done. Wednesdays at work, I'm gonna try to get a chapter done after work. Thursdays I have off, minimum 3 chapters. And then Friday, 1 chapter. The 12th is my birthday, so instead of a chapter, I get a free day to do whatever I want. But basically, it's going to break down to that. So at the end of the month, if I calculated it all correctly, my book will be done by Memorial Day. I've gotten through all of the chapters. It should be perfect. I might even get done a little before that. That'd be totally fine. But that's basically what my schedule is going to look like. It's not overly ambitious, but it's really ambitious for me to be trying to write every day. Now I did this for the rest of the summer. This is the preview month. So we're gonna try, here, maybe I'll do it this way. We're going to try to get this all done in May as best we can, follow the schedule. If it needs any tweaking, I've already written everything in pen, so I'll need an entirely new calendar because I didn't think that through very well. I have the whole summer planned out because there are many things I want to get done. So I want to do that. Pitch Madness is going to be June 3rd. That novel needs to be ready to go June 3rd. So that's what I'm doing. The first 2 days of June are going to be getting the query and the pitch perfect for that, and then beginning the query process. And then the second week of June, I'm going to switch over to poetry. So I'm going to have June be my poetry month, essentially. So it's going to be like 2 weeks of poetry, and then I'm going to skip to another thing, which I'm going to talk to you about as well. I'll be submitting poems for a couple of days. The days that I work, I'm going to just focus on submitting poems to literary journals when I get home. Not too crazy, but it takes more brain power than you'd think to like read through all of the guidelines, choose the right poems, make sure that they're perfect, send them in, make sure you've got everything all together. Like it takes more work than you'd expect. So I need to kind of give myself a little bit of time, but I'm going to do those on weekdays. Then on my days off, I'm going to compile my collection. I'm giving myself 1 day to really do it because I've sort of done it one time. I need to rethink it and do an entire day recompiling it. And I think I can get the whole thing done in one day. There's a few new poems to add in, a few I think I need to take out, a bit of restructuring to do, but I think I can do it all in one day. And then I'm giving myself 2 days in which I'm also working to just revise that collection and get it perfect. So the poems are written, the collection is somewhat in an order, but I'm just gonna grind it out and get the whole thing all together in 3 days. 3 days it'll be ready to go. Oh, I actually gave myself 3 days of revision and then my free day. And then I'm gonna start submitting that collection. So starting the following week, I am sending out my collection. I'm gonna give myself a few days of that, and my next day off, we're switching gears again. Now let me sit down because I'm standing up here holding the camera. My arm's gonna get tired. Here's where we're getting real ambitious. Okay, so halfway through June, if I have done everything perfectly as I have planned, and I've given myself lots of space to do it, lots of free days every Monday, if I've done all of that, I'll have been keeping up with my YouTube channel. I will have my study abroad story querying and my poetry book querying by mid-June. At which point, when both things are achieved, I'm gonna rewrite Circuit. Yep, you heard me. I can't get off my bullshit. I tried. It just keeps coming back to me. I keep being like, okay, but what if? Okay, but this thing. Okay, but that. Because it's still a story in my heart. It's still a story that like I feel like I need to write and tell. And all of my trip ups are like me trying too hard or messing up a thing or not really like focusing on like what it is about the story that I love. So I'm gonna do another rewrite for Circuit for June through July. Is gonna be pretty much focused on Circuit. Okay, I sat down, I know that, but let's go back to my calendar. I should have just put my calendar not right there. Okay, so Circuit I'm working on for literally all of July. At the end of July, it should be done, and we're gonna go on the query path with that one. So depending upon whether or not my study abroad story actually gets picked up, I could be double querying for novels and a poetry book triple querying all at the same time. But that is all in the design of this ambitious goal. So end of July, I begin querying for Circuit. Okay, because I'm going to be kind of doing like a 3-part writing and revising for it during the month of July. August is all about querying. August is like grind work querying, and that is also when I can kind of shift around goals. If I've got something else I'm feeling ambitious about, I can throw that in. But I am just, any kind of revisions that have come up that need to be done for any of the stories, any kind of feedback I've gotten, that's all going in there. If my poetry collection hasn't been picked up by the end of August, I'm going to begin the process of self-publishing it instead. I've only planned out through August because Josh is coming home, I think, early September or late September. So September I'm giving myself room to figure out later. Okay, so as people who have previously published poetry know, only letting them go for 2 months to hear back for a submission for poetry is insane, is crazy. I should not be doing that because it can sometimes take a freaking year to hear back from poetry submissions. And that shouldn't be the case. It's a little bit upsetting that you are expected to wait so long to hear back about poetry, but it's just like, it's the normal thing. That's what happens. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm going to prep the entire collection for self-publishing. I'm going to work on what I want the cover to be, how I want the inside to look, all of everything. I'll start working on that at the end of August. The idea then being, I will plan on self-publishing the poetry collection if it hasn't been picked up, probably around the beginning of fall. That's the goal. It'll be ready for it and I'll keep waiting an additional month, but if I haven't really heard anything back, I will probably switch over to doing it that way because I really want to have the poetry collection coming out. It would be ideal to have it come out through a press, But if it's not looking like it's likely to happen, I'm still going to try and make it a reality. I can push that back as much as I want, but I want it to be ready. If I am like really waiting on someone, I can always, again, push it back. I could push it back as long as I want, but I want it to be fully ready to be published, so that if I'm like, hey, this isn't happening that way, it's gonna happen this way, because it's what I want to happen. So, 2 novels, fully revised, fully finished, and querying at the end of the summer, and 1 poetry book done. Like, it's not an undoable goal. It's just a big goal. It's a lot, and I'm trying to really also focus on my health. I finally discovered this year that I'm not probably just lactose intolerant. The dairy was definitely triggering my migraines. I think I've talked about how my migraines were getting worse and worse and worse, and I was going to like multiple doctors, and it was really becoming like almost unbearable. Like the migraines were just constant. It was horrible. And it turns out they were triggered by dairy. I don't like any dairy. And apparently that's not normal for lactose intolerance. Like, you're supposed to be able to eat butter and not really have an issue. I can't have anything. If I have anything, I'm like ill. And I had been being ill for like days. And then my migraines come back. And so I am having to kind of be forcibly a little bit more towards vegan. I have to find dairy alternatives for everything. It means switching from butter to margarine. It means somehow finding a cream cheese that tastes anything like Philadelphia cream cheese, which just doesn't exist in a non-dairy form. So I'm doing my best. I think probably the best one so far really is Kite Hill, because some other ones, Daya, I'm looking at you. That is disgusting. Oh, I hate the Daya cream cheese. Oh, it's like crayons meet like frosting. It was really weird. Didn't like that. Anyway, I mean, like, I can't have like pizza. I can't like go out to eat if I don't know if it's gonna have cheese or not, like without then becoming sick later. Like, it's frustrating because obviously dairy is delicious, and I've already had to cut mango out of my diet, which is my favorite fruit because I am allergic to mango. And you know, like, the more, especially when you like grow up having absolutely no restrictions on your diet, and then you start having restrictions, it's like, fuck you, universe. I'm having to be really health conscious this summer. I'm gonna go fairly plant-based, partly because I don't have a lot of option, and I'm trying to cut down meat. I'm going to like give myself the grace of chicken, because not having any dairy, and then also like everything else, like, I'm allowed chicken. I'm not gonna cook chicken in the house. I'm still gonna like eat fish and stuff in the house and also out of the house because I love sushi and I love poke. Fish is okay. I'm gonna okay myself on chicken because it's become too restrictive and sometimes you need some protein. But mostly I'm gonna eat plant-based. I'm working on that as part of the like health days thing. I'm gonna try and eat pretty healthy and really focus on myself and focus on exercise and getting myself outside. Last year I was so scared to go outside because of the pandemic. I wasn't even like taking walks, even though I could easily have taken a walk. I'm gonna try and, on nice days, especially that I have off, I'm gonna try and go for a walk. But the main focus is still gonna be trying to get my novels done, because that's what I want to do. I want to have them finished. You know, I see Zuko in the sun. He's just down here knocking the tripod. You've probably seen him already. Yeah? You just knocking the tripod, huh? You fuzzy boy? Anyway, so today's plan, I'm going to work in half-hour intervals. I'm going to work for a half hour, take a little break, work for another half hour, and then I gotta go get groceries. I mean, I'm just getting back from vacation and there's like nothing to eat in the house, so I've really got to fill up on things I can have so that I'm not tempted to go and eat out or anything, because that's just gonna make me sick again. Starting from scratch, chapter 1 all over again on my study abroad novel. I'm gonna work on that, and then groceries, come back, work on that again, and we're going to try and get through chapter 3. We'll see how that goes. And if I get through the first 3 chapters, then I get to kind of take the rest of the day off, relax. I think actually I'm going to really be trying to get a little bit of planting done because it's supposed to be beautiful. I may be opening up the windows this afternoon, getting a little bit of planting done on my porch because we are beyond freezing season and I would like to have a beautiful garden on my porch for the summer. Yeah, and catching up on YouTube because I'm well over 300 videos in my watch later again. So like if I haven't seen your videos, it's gonna be a while. All right, let's get started on this. I've got my tea, it's all set up, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. I made it to the first break. Things are going well. I'm about that. Well, everything is double spaced and in Comic Sans right now because that's how I have to roll for revisions. But I'm on page 5. That's not too bad. I've been doing some major moving around and changing things and kind of just adding in a snarkier tone because I think I like my writing voice better when I'm a little snarky, and I always forget that, and I write in like a more like literary voice, but like everything I've loved that I've written and that other people have loved that I've written has been snarky in my head. So I'm letting the snark come in because I feel like it balances the like nervous anxiety that is just rampant in this book. Like the main premise of the book is like studying abroad in a new place, but being someone who has anxiety, who's like crippled by it sometimes, and you know, you try to be an extrovert and it's really hard when you suffering from panic attacks and, you know, like getting over some, I don't want to call it PTSD, but like some bad experiences. I think the snark is working better. I'm not just like going crazy snarky, but I am adding a little bit more in and it's been a little more fun. I am just going to take a little quick stretch and potty break and then I'm going to do another half hour. It is almost 10 o'clock, so if I do another half hour and then I go to the store, that should be just about right. So perfect.
Chapter 1. We flew in with the sweet yellow glow of sunlight rising over the horizon and it felt like a reawakening. All the brightly shining ambience of a second chance was coaxing me out of the haze of a 12-hour flight. I stared out the rounded window across the empty row beside me and I remember thinking, thank goodness it's a whole country and not just an island, which is absurd, because of course England is a country, but the relief that it wasn't as small as it looked on paper was the first reassurance that I wasn't making a huge mistake.
Okay, first chapter is done. My trip to the grocery store was a big success. The main thing I was getting was things like frozen vegetables that I can add to all kinds of things to make more meals, but they're not going to go bad. They'll be here pretty much all summer. If I don't eat them, they'll be fine. Also, my Blue Apron box came because I'm still doing that. I'm going to unpack everything, put it away, have some lunch, and then be back to writing. Just, can you see, let's go back in here too, how many like dairy alternatives I've been trying. This one's a Kite Hill brand. I'm really struggling. I gotta find some good dairy alternatives. Okay, I ate some leftover Thai food for lunch and I opened up the windows and I cleaned the litter boxes, and so now it's time to sit down for another half hour of writing and then another break and then another half hour. I'm gonna try and get through chapter 2 and then we'll have a little bit longer of a break after that, unless I'm on a roll. We're just kind of playing this by ear. Gonna be kind of a chill writing day today, so I can kind of figure out what my routine is gonna be like for the next month. So far so good. Chapter 1, I feel so much better about chapter 1 than I did before. I was kind of given things out of order, and the critique partner who had looked at it previously was like, this is really out of order, and my reaction at the time had been like, yeah, but it's supposed to be out of order, it'll be fine. And you know, that's not true. Going back, they were right. Critique partners are usually right. That's why we trust them to give us critiques. I think it'll be a lot better this way. And now moving into chapter 2, I can start to kind of give a little bit more of the backstory of like why the anxiety is so high, and hopefully that will work. Time to get writing, let's go! Chapter 2 is done. It was way longer than I thought it was, and then I had to look back and be like, it's actually too long compared to chapter 1. So I cut part of it and moved it to chapter 3, which I think is good because it's the first like big anxiety attack. Like there's so much anxiety in this book. But I mean, at the beginning it is a lot of anxiety, and then I get into some of the funner stuff and some of the less anxiety-inducing things because it has to be a growth progression. Yeah, a lot of anxiety at the start though. I had a couple big changes to make, like adding in some funnier things. Like I have the character that's based on me like pee in the shower because I thought it was funny. And then I just realized there's like too many characters you only see once. Like you only saw the floor advisor like the first time when I first move in. However, there's another character who's reoccurring who can easily be the floor advisor. So I just made him the floor advisor instead. And I thought that was just a lot easier. It also takes away, I was sort of giving myself a little bit of a almost could there be a love triangle thing. But by making one of those characters the floor advisor, it's a lot less of a love triangle. Like it's a lot less likely to happen just because that's a little more weird to fall in love with your floor advisor, but like he was never an option. So that's gonna be fun. I think the pacing is going really good. I'm just gonna run a quick edit and then see if the sun has hit the back porch. We're gonna sit outside for a little bit. I kind of need to shower. I was sort of running around a bit earlier and I feel a little bit like I need a shower, but I want to do it after I sit outside. And it's gonna be so nice this afternoon, but like there's a lot of pollen. I don't want to take that to bed with me. So that's what I've been thinking about. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just go take a little break because I only have to get one more chapter done today after this one. And there's plenty of time to do it because it's still early afternoon. So I did decide to take a shower because it just felt like I really needed it. I have my mug of English breakfast tea. I have started a little notebook to keep characters straight. Since I'm doing this revision all the way through, I figured I might as well have a little bit of a series Bible and at least keep all of the characters' names correct and all of that. So I am doing that this time through. I'm gonna finish chapter 3 and then make some dinner, and then I'm gonna decide if I feel up for doing another chapter today. I might try and do that in the evening. I might try binge watch Queen's Gambit, which I've been meaning to watch. Oh, but I'm conflicted and wondering if maybe I should just try and watch a lot more YouTube tonight because I am so backed up in my watch later. It is ridiculous. And I'm kind of trying to watch videos in between doing these sprints as well. I mean, it's not really a sprint, it's like 30 minutes. I don't know if you can count that as a sprint. I feel like a sprint is like 20 minutes or less. I always feel like I have a lot more energy for this kind of writing thing in the morning, and then as the day goes on, I get more done, I kind of just like lose energy, and it's like, are those my spoons? I'm trying. I think this is going to be a good pace though. I don't feel overwhelmed by doing 3 chapters. The one thing is though, these 3 chapters had been revised pretty well, and it was mostly like larger sweeping and more finite detail kinds of changes. Like I wasn't having to write entire scenes. Like it was mostly moving scenes around or changing some things here and there. Like there weren't large sections to actually write in. And I am going to hit a point where the revisions I had done before are going to come to a stop, and I'm going to run into the ones where I have to pretty much just like flesh out everything from NaNoWriMo. So when I get out that far, I feel like this is going to be a little bit harder, but if I get this ball rolling early, it shouldn't change my deadlines or anything. So it seems like I can do this all a chapter in an hour. It seems like 2 30-minute sprints is exactly the right amount of time to get a chapter done. And if the chapters are all with the double spacing right around 15 pages, that seems like a good amount of pages. I feel like if I'm going over 15, I'm something like, this is really long. And if it's under 15, it's kind of like, it doesn't feel right. So I'm thinking like aiming for the 15 pages in the double spaced seems about correct. Maybe those chapters are a little bit short, but I don't know. I'm the type of person who I really like short chapters when I'm reading. Like I like to feel like I'm accomplishing things. So, and I'm not good at stopping in between chapters. I think maybe my revision style shows that, but I'm really bad at stopping in between chapters when I'm reading. I want to finish a whole section, so I don't like chapters with like strong cliffhangers, because if I have to turn to the next page, I start to get like, I want to turn to the next page, but not have to turn to the next page, if you understand what I'm saying there. The reason I have a towel here is for my wrists. I don't have the money to get one of those nice things, and then my hand therapist was like, just roll up a towel. It works perfectly. This is just, here, this is just a normal size hand towel, and I just fold it up. Of course that one was folded perfectly, but I just fold it and put it here. It's an absolutely perfect rest. So if you need a hack because you're like doing too much of this and you need to be doing a little bit more flat, because flat is better, it's more comfortable, and if you're getting like the pain on your wrists, which is really what I was getting, was that pain right there, towel trick. Now you know. No. Yuzuko. And Pat's over here. Alright, so there we go. Oh, okay. I ended up cutting chapter 3 a little bit shorter than it used to be. It used to have just like so many scenes in it, and it felt like that just wasn't right. Like I need to like focus my chapters a little bit more so they're on like specific things. So I kind of cut down some things in that chapter and moved them, and like the second half is like it was like the chapter was over 20 pages. And I know they're double spaced, so like they'd be shorter otherwise. Oh, you need to get over the camera. Is the camera in the way? Come here. Oh, put your paws out. There we go. Okay. But yeah, so I cut it in half. So now that's becoming 2 chapters. I just think the pacing is a lot better. This is going a lot better. But then of course, so what was chapter 3, I feel like I cheated on, so I do feel like I need to work on it a little bit more. We're gonna enjoy the lovely weather, so I've got the catio open, and I'm gonna make some dinner. I'll make one of my Blue Apron things, because those are kind of hard to do when you come home from work and it's like 30 minutes more of cooking, which is why I have some freezer things too. Or like leftovers are good for that, but for today I'm gonna cook something and maybe watch the Queen's Gambit. Yeah, I'm thinking that I want to do that tonight, at least to try it. People told me I would like it, and Josh wasn't that interested, so I didn't get around to it. Like that and Bridgerton are the 2 that people told me I would love, because I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff, but Josh wasn't terribly interested, so I was like, you know what, I have an entire summer without you to watch all these shows. But yeah, so that's how my evening is looking. So this was day 1 of my ambitious writing goal project. I have many more days left. All of May I will be working on this, and I'm gonna probably not do like daily vlogs, maybe weekly vlogs, maybe kind of milestone vlogs, because I do want to share how the process is going and everything. So look forward to definitely more vlogs about this. But maybe not too many. I need to come up with some other subjects to do videos about, because I am going to try and really keep with my vlogging, not just my vlogging, but like with my YouTube goals, because I'm getting close to a milestone. If you guys notice, I'm almost, as of filming this, I'm almost reaching that 800 people. I know I have a weird channel. It's not the kind of channel that like just takes off, but it'd be really cool to get to 1,000 this year, so we'll see. I want to kind of stick with it. I want to do more content people are interested in, and I know I always say that and then I like don't post the videos people request for like 2 years, and I'm so sorry, but yeah, keep requesting things. If you have something you'd like me to do a video about, I'm totally happy to. I also just got a message today that one of my short stories was not accepted as a finalist for a contest, but that it did make it into the quarterfinals, and they would be really interested in me resubmitting it in the future. So that was kind of cool. That was really nice. I've never gotten something like that for a short story, so that was really nice. That made me feel pretty good. So yeah, I need to maybe work short stories into my summer ambitious writing goals, but we shall see. I hope you are having a lovely day. I hope May is starting out strong for you, and that you are also able to achieve some of your goals. I feel like it's a lot easier now. Feeling better about getting the vaccine and COVID kind of, we've done this for a year now. We're getting things under control. It's feeling a lot less just like terrifying than it did last year. Last year ruined me, and this year I've got unruined myself. So working on that. I hope you are also having some small successes and maybe some big successes. And also the May Day event for Animal Crossing was a lot of fun. I played that this morning too. I know I didn't mention it, but like I have not stopped playing Animal Crossing. I probably missed in the past year like 7 total days of Animal Crossing, so yeah, your girl obsessed. My island is gorgeous. Thank you very much. Alright, I will talk to you again soon. Good luck to you, good luck to all of us. Bye.